Today we're tackling one of life's biggest questions. What makes you truly you? As we grow, change, and adapt to new technologies, it's natural to wonder, are we always the same person we used to be? This question becomes even more relevant in a world where physical and digital boundaries are constantly shifting. In my last video, we discussed the Ship of Theseus that challenges our understanding of identity. The question is simple: if you replace every part of the ship over time, is it still the same ship? And if you reassemble the old parts into a new ship, which one is the real Ship of Theseus? Today we're going even deeper by looking at this question through the lens of Aristotle's four causes, an ancient philosophical framework that helps us understand not just what things are, but why they are. Along the way, we'll connect these ideas to modern questions about identity in a world of rapid technological change. Let's dive in. Aristotle believed that to understand anything fully, you need to look at it from four different angles. These are the four causes. Let's break them down, and I'll use some modern examples to help explain them in a way that's easy to understand. The first cause is called the material cause. This is simply the physical stuff that something is made from. It's like the ingredients in a recipe. For the Ship of Theseus, the material cause would be the wood, nails, and ropes that physically make up the ship. But how does this apply today? Let's think about a Black Mirror episode, White Christmas, where a person's mind is copied and transferred into a digital cookie. The person's thoughts, memories, and even sense of self are now stored as lines of code in a machine. The material cause of this person, according to Aristotle, is no longer flesh and bone, it's all digital. So here is the big question: if your body is replaced with digital code, are you still you? If your material has changed completely, does it mean that your identity has changed? What makes you you? The physical stuff that makes up your body, or something deeper? To answer that, let's move further to the formal cause of the objects. The formal cause in Aristotle's philosophy refers to the deeper characteristics that define something and make it what it is. It's not just about the shape or appearance, but the essential features and organization that give something its purpose. For example, in the case of the Ship of Theseus, the formal cause is what makes the ship a ship. Its design, its function, and its purpose of traveling on water. The form is more than just the way the ship looks. It's a core idea of a ship as a vessel meant for sailing. So in our example with a person uploaded into a cookie, the formal cause will be a system that on a fundamental level helps define person's identity in the virtual world. However, this digital form isn't exactly the same as the original human form. The difference between material and formal causes can be also compared to the difference between hardware and software on the computer. While the digital version might mimic the person's memories and behavior, it does not interact with the world in a way a real person would. It imitates the person, but it's not a perfect match. To understand this better, imagine a potter shaping clay into a vase. The material cause is the clay, but the formal cause is the essence of vaseness, what makes it a vase that can hold flowers, unlike the painted vase that would only serve a purpose of decoration. Again, the form isn't just about the shape, it's the deeper structure that gives object its function and purpose. When we think about identity, it's closely tied to the form or essence of the thing. If the form changes, the identity will change too, but it's not always as simple as just slightly changing the shape. The efficient cause is about the agent or process that makes something come into being. It explains who or what creates something and how it happens. For example, in the case of the Ship of Theseus, the shipbuilders are the efficient cause because they built the ship. Without them, the ship wouldn't exist. Now think about the digital version of yourself created by an algorithm. This algorithm takes information from your online life, like photo, messages, activity on social media, and uses it to create a virtual version of you. But what happens to your identity in this process? The efficient cause here is this algorithm that makes the digital version of you. The way the algorithm works influences how the digital version looks and behaves. Even though this digital version might seem similar to you, the process of making it using an algorithm instead of living a human life means the digital version is not exactly the same as the original you. In simpler terms, the way something is created, whether it's through an algorithm or real-life experiences, shapes how it turns out. The efficient cause plays a big role in shaping the form and function of whatever is created, whether it's a ship or a digital version of a person. The last cause is called the final cause. It particularly refers to the goal or the purpose of something, what it's meant to do. For the Ship of Theseus, its final cause would be to carry people across the water, to perform the job it was designed for. Now let's bring this idea into the digital world. Imagine you create a virtual version of yourself in a video game or a virtual reality space. It isn't just a digital replica, it's designed for a specific purpose. Maybe to explore virtual worlds, take on new roles, or interact with others in ways you couldn't in real life. Your digital self can do things your physical body can't, like fly, change appearance, or live in a fantasy world. But here is the big question. If identity is tied to purpose, then when your virtual self has a different goal, does it mean your identity has changed too based on that fact? Consider a digital avatar you use for a role-playing game, for example. As mentioned earlier, it might have different skills, appearance, and behavior than your real-world self. Does it still represent you even though its role is so different? Or has the shift in purpose created for entirely different experience meant that your identity has transformed into something new in the digital world? Aristotle's four causes are often used to answer a seemingly simple question: why is something the way it is? This question is essential to Aristotle's metaphysics, where he proposed that to fully understand any object or event, we need to know not just how it happened, the efficient cause, but why it happens, or what role it serves in the larger picture. In today's world, the focus is largely on answering the how question. Modern sciences, from biology to physics, are focused on explaining the process or mechanics that make something happen. For example, if we look at a tree, scientists may tell us how it grows, how it photosynthesizes, or how it interacts with its environment. These answers focus on the sequence of causes that lead to the tree's current state, which are most closely related to Aristotle's efficient cause, the process, agents, or mechanisms that bring something into being. But Aristotle would argue that understanding how something happens is only a part of the story. The question of why something happens is equally or even more important. For the tree, its final cause might be its purpose or role in the ecosystem. Perhaps to produce oxygen so that we all could breathe, to provide shelter for animals, or even produce seeds for new trees. In Aristotle's view, everything in the world happens for a reason, and there is an underlying purpose to every event, no matter how small or large. He believed that everything in nature is going towards a certain goal, a kind of perfection or fulfillment. Nothing occurs randomly or by chance. There is always an order and intention behind it. Even when we look at the movement of the planets, for example, they don't just move aimlessly through the sky. Aristotle believed that the planets followed circular orbits, and this is not by accident. The reason for this circular motion is that the planets are striving towards something greater, a state of unchanged perfection. In other words, they move in these perfect circles because they want to become like the gods, eternal and immovable. The circular path is symbolic of their ultimate goal of stability and perfection, which is something that cannot be altered or disturbed. This approach to understanding the world goes beyond just explaining how things happen. it goes deeper into why they happen. It's not just about observing the movement of the planets and saying, here is how they move and why. It's about considering the larger picture. What is the deeper purpose behind their motion? What is their end goal? Aristotle's thinking invites us to reflect on the why of everything, not just the mechanics or the process of change, but the reason for existence itself. Whether we're talking about the natural world, human behavior, or even celestial bodies, there is always a reason for their movement, and this reason is guided by the pursuit of their final goal. This is especially important in today's world where technology and virtual spaces blur the lines of identity. Are we asking the right questions about what makes us us? And are we paying attention to the deeper, more existential role that our identity serves? Aristotle's four causes give us a powerful framework to rethink identity in a digital age. Whether we're talking about a ship, a person, or a digital version of ourselves, these four causes invite us to consider not just how something exists, but why it exists and the way it does. In today's world where technology is reshaping who we are, these ancient ideas are more relevant than ever. By asking questions about the material, form, process of creation, and the purpose of things, we can dig deeper into what makes us who we are. Is it our body, our mind, or something else entirely? As we explore these ideas, we are reminded that identity is more than just a matter of what we are. It's also about why we exist in the way we do. Now it's your turn. Which of Aristotle's four causes do you think matters the most when defining identity? Are we our materials, our structure, our creators, or our purpose? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos that get you thinking. See you in the next one.